5 o'clock on my time. Good evening. Welcome to our Page Unified School District School Board meeting. We are going to go ahead and start at 5 o'clock. We'll go ahead and start off with our roll call.
Bob Candelaria.
Ed Franklin.
Sandra Kidman.
Desiree Fowler. And we also have Superintendent Rob Varner here with us, and also Lynn Huffman. We're going to go ahead and move along to item B, and we're going to go ahead and take a moment to support a moment of silence.
Everybody, huh?
All right. And I have asked Elise Donahoe to lead us off in the Pledge of Allegiance. So we ask you to stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Willie. All right, on to item D, approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving along, we're going to go ahead and start with our special business. Recognition of Students of the Month for each of the schools, and that will be done by Dee McCary, and after her will be recognition of February Pride employee, and that will be done presented by Sandra Kidman. And after you have received your award, we ask you to stay until the end of the recognition of employee, and we will ask you to have your pictures taken, get your pictures taken there at the back of the room there.
Good evening. Really honored this afternoon to recognize some of our high-achieving students that have been recommended for the month of March. The first one I have here this afternoon is Malia Crank. Is she here? Malia Crank has been recommended from Lakeview and was recommended by her teacher, Mrs. Skinner, because she's always determined to show her pride in all areas of school. She's a hard worker, making sure to always pay attention to class and get her work done. Malia is a great friend to others and respectful to all. It has been a pleasure to have her in my class and see her grow as an individual. Kathy, I'll give this to her. Make sure you give it to her. The next one is from Desert View. Could I have Rich come and help me? It's Samuel Malkaikane. Is he here? Samuel?
Samuel was nominated by his teacher, Miss Pontevedra, because he has a positive attitude and respectful character and is a joy to be around. Samuel is polite, courteous, and respectful to his teacher and follows directions quickly. Samuel has a great personality that he can work with any of his peers. He sets a good example for his peers by displaying exemplary behavior and social skills. He also works very hard at anything that he is given and pays attention to detail in his work. Samuel is not afraid of any task that I might give him and exceeds in everything he does. He is consistent in accomplishing his goal, completing work, and doing homework every day. He is a strong student both academically and in his ability to not only work with other students, but to help other students understand difficult concepts. It is truly a joy to have Samuel in my class. I am very proud of his accomplishments and appreciate his enthusiasm and fantastic determination.
Thank you. I'm sure that you got your certificate and a little token there. The next one is from Page Middle School, Tyler Sosi. Are you here, Tyler? Miss Covington? Oh, there you are.
Tyler was nominated by Ms. Tani Schultz, his teacher, because he goes above and beyond in the classroom. He excels in pre-algebra on a daily basis. He is always willing to help other students understand the material. He respects the other students by not always shouting out the answers, and he is great to have in class. Congratulations.
Thank you much. The next one we have is from Manson Mesa High School, Justin Morris. Janet.
This is one of the pleasures of being a teacher. I know as we discussed this as a team, month in and month out, Justin's name would come up and they go, he's such a great guy. And then we look at the completions and this and that, well, maybe anyway. But so as we were discussing the character traits, we agreed that one specific student embodies most of them most of the time. The first is a positive attitude and sincerity, helps to make school and community better, respects authority, is kind, loving, and considerate, stands up for beliefs, treats others with respect, plays by the rules, and is honest. And finally, a trait that Justin is acquiring just in time to graduate, self-discipline and a strong work ethic. So congratulations. And
last one on the list is Trinity Tomaho. Okay, sorry. And
hi, I'm Brandy Thompson. I teach PE and health at the high school, and I nominated Trinity because she's a phenomenal student. She's a very hard worker. She's always contributes to class discussions, is a great self-advocate. She turns in the highest quality work of any of my classes, and is one of very few students to have a 100 in my health class. It's a pleasure to work with her each week, and I'm very happy to pick you today. Congrats.
Here's a little token of appreciation for you. Here you are.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to honor the Pride Employees of the Month, and we're going to start with our middle school science teacher, Tim Martin. All right, congratulations. I get to throw a little praise on you today, which I'm always happy to see teachers that my kids have had, so it's always fun to get to know them better. Here's, you were nominated by non-Cambridge, language arts teacher at middle school, and here's what he has to say. Tim knows his craft well and makes the learning in his classroom fun and challenging. He's unafraid to confront poor performance of pride or academic expectations, and is genuinely concerned about helping his students to do their best and to become their best. He has yet to have a down day that I have seen, and I see him every day. He always comes to work and does his part without any fanfare or drama. Now that's, you know. Teachers love their drama. So he supports other teachers by befriending them without judgment and easily shares his ideas, successes, or challenges. Tim is a great local success story, and if you see his doppelganger, that would be his twin brother. So Tim is second year back at Page Unified. He grew up here and did amazing things as a student, then worked here after college where he met his wife, then moved away to her home, only to return again with the same desire to build up his home, Page, Arizona. With that, he has always supported athletics and in particular the cross-country programs throughout the district, which he still does today. But more importantly, he has made a huge impact on how students perform on their science tests, pride behavior, and workplace morale. So, congratulations. Thank you. There you go. And then we still have a, make sure you get you a goodie bag. So. Thank you. And then we have Heather Landry, the gifted clerk in Educational Services. All right. I get to put some praise here as well, so it's very exciting. Come on closer here a little bit. There we go. I take it you don't like being the center of attention. Well, just once, okay. Heather is an amazing young lady. She's always sweet, nice, and goes out of her way to help others, students, staff, and families. Heather organizes get-togethers in our building and helps build team spirit. She has created an atmosphere of respect and trust and brought together the staff working here, many of whom are new. She's a very capable person, has big dreams for her future. Heather is the first to greet anyone coming into the building with a smile and a hello. She has a sense of right and wrong and always does what's right. I'm going to have to follow you around because I struggle with that sometimes. One of Heather's many duties is testing students for both gifted and ELL programs. She does this cheerfully and afterwards will tell me how much she enjoys working with the students. And this was reported by Beth Jasmine, the Educational Service Director. Heather completes all her required jobs on time and goes on to help others. She's a joy to be around. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we would like to ask all our Student of the Month to meet students and employees of the month to go ahead and get your pictures taken there in the back of the room.
I had to. I know you don't. I just thought that was so ironic.
All right, moving along with our agenda. Somewhere, okay. Subject C, recognition and approval of donation to the district. We have a donation of a snap-on torque wrench by Liberty Auto to the Auto Tech program valued at $472. Second donation in the amount of $735.75 for hotel rooms by Aaron Coutson for the Color Guard program. Do we have, that's an action item, right?
Yes.
All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the listed donations.
I second it.
that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then now to announcements and comments. No blue cards? All right. We have no blue cards, so we're going to go ahead and move along to our reports. Governing board reports. We'll go ahead and start with Mr. Candelaria.
Kind of ironic that we had Chief Balcom here on a Tuesday at school board, and then gathering all the resources and the various community resources that would respond to an emergency situation on Wednesday morning, and then having to exercise all of that practice. And they had also had a drill at the middle school on Sunday as well. And so I was over at the middle school when all the police were there, getting there. They actually made it before hard lockdown, and so they were in the building, and Elisa was surprised a little bit, but they were on the spot, and the response was just absolutely spectacular. And I think within about 3 to 4 minutes, or maybe 5, there were at least 8 to 10 response vehicles from all over the area. And so that was really, really good. And thank God there was no credible threat discovered, found. So that was good. But and to Angelo and Superintendent Varner for just taking that proactive approach, and we're already seeing some of the results of that with a uniformed policeman that's walking the campus 4 hours a day, and their halo. Everyone will notice that around the school buildings with police vehicles and various vehicles. So we continue to try to improve and get better at this kind of stuff. So.
Go ahead, Ed.
Well, I'll just kind of pick up where Rob had left off at. And this goes out, thank you to the principal of the middle school. Here about a couple weeks ago, we had some young kids that wound up coming to the hospital there. And I'm going to tell you, the timeliness and how this took place and everything is a reflection on the city coming together, starting with the principal, and then with the city also providing that great support to get those kids to the hospital in a timely manner. Everything went smoothly, but once again, I think it starts with the superintendent, and everything from that point on just made the process very easy. And the outcome was overall turned out to be positive. And so I'd like to say thank you to that principal. Job well done.
Oh, you got it, Lynn?
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
What?
I meant to say Sandra. I got you mixed up. Sorry.
That's okay. You'll learn my name. Yes. Okay. So I had the chance to tour the ACES program with our superintendent. Found that very enjoyable. It's always nice to get a little, that's one of my board goals this year is to dig in a little deeper and learn, have a better understanding of all our programs. And so I got a chance to do that, and that was enjoyable. And I think they do a good job over there. So that was good to see. And also wanted to, along those lines, like last week's work study session, I thought was very nice to have the chief of police with us and just know that they're supportive and that they're just as concerned about our kids' safety as we are. And there's, a lot of people are very jittery right now, but I think it's very assuring for parents and students to see that they're there, and I hope that's going to have a positive effect.
Yes, I had the opportunity on February 16th to attend the district's professional development on reflective teaching. I was just really impressed with the delivery. And more so, I went to the building to see how it was being transpired and the engagement with the teaching staff. I was just really impressed with Anne, your delivery and your working relationship with, the team that you had. They had a lot to offer, and I was just so impressed, as well as Kathy. Phenomenal job. I could tell they were just really on task and really wanting to share so much. And I sat there as a board member wondering how this would also fit into the role that I also play too, as my reflection as well in my delivery and representing all of you. Thank you for the job well done.
I had the opportunity to pay a visit to Walmart, and it's nice to receive the all staff emails. And they were the Page High School Traveling Club was having a food sale, So I was there 15 minutes early than the actual starting time, but I was able to get a fry bread, and the fry bread was amazing. So kudos to them, and they'll be traveling to Europe, I believe, somewhere. And then also congratulations to our our high school girls, Page High School basketball team, and they won the state championship. That's amazing. And I am very grateful that we have a good partnership with our police department and our school district here. So it's amazing to see the outcome. I know we did have a lot of concerns, and I'm glad that we were able to smooth things out in such a timely manner. So that's all the reports I have. Now moving along to the superintendent report.
So I want to continue the partnership with PD and the other agencies, and through the work of our principals. We have one of the things that we talked about was creating a space for our agencies to do paperwork. So they have to do paperwork whether they're in their office or somewhere else. So we provided, each school has provided them a space to just stop in and do paperwork, and just that again, that you know, being visible and just visiting our schools. And tomorrow Chief Balcom and I have another meeting to talk about a program called Pop with a Cop. And soda pop. Come on, people. And so I'm excited to share that with our working with our principals again, an opportunity for the officers to come to lunchtime and just have casual conversations with our kids and just continue to build that relationship, and so really excited about that. Saturday, Paige, the boys basketball team, and our unified program was invited to their first annual Native American Basketball Classic at ASU. A whole series of games beginning at noon. I know that Monument Valley girls were invited. Ganado girls are going to be there. We're playing at 2 o'clock. Our Page boys are playing Alshashay, and then our unified team is playing at 4 o'clock against Hopi. So are pretty excited about that. Also, if you're in town at 1 o'clock at the Page High School, Winter Guard's going to do their performance, and their last competition they took first. So you know, it's not a long performance. If you get there at 5 after 1, you might miss it. So, but their performance is amazing. So, again, I want to give kudos out to Terry and his crew for recruiting efforts. Very, very excited where we're at. We're a little bit ahead of last year. Hopefully, we have. Terry's boldly predicting a certified teacher in every one of our classrooms for next year. So he's putting himself out there, and we have, in some cases, multiple applications for one job. So that's exciting. I know Miss Martin's working diligently on filling her AP position and is continuing to review applications. So a couple weeks from now, I think you're going through the process with your team, so that's exciting. Just a reminder, next week is parent-teacher conferences. And after that, don't call me. I'm on spring break like the rest of you guys are. And so looking forward to that, by the way. And that's all I got. Thank you.
I'd just like to add on to what Mr. Varner had mentioned about the Native American Classic. Our hoop dancers were invited by the AIA to perform at the 2 p.m. game. So we're looking forward to that, and it's great to have the commitment from parents that are willing to drive their kiddos down and be a part of this big event.
Nice stuff. You can watch it on TV if you don't want to go. There is a link to watch all the games.
Through AIA.
Through AIA, yeah.
All right, moving along. We do not have any unfinished business, so we're going to go ahead and move along to our governing board consent agenda. So I'm going to ask Ed to go ahead and read
Read the statement, okay.
the statement. Yep.
A copy of the consent agenda is available at the district administration office. All items listed will be considered as a unit. by the governing board and will be approved with one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items unless a board member requests, in which case the items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered as a separate item.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion we accept the consent agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now on to our calendar of events, and we all have a copy of that. So from March 12th through the 15th, we have our parent-teacher conference. March 19th through the 22nd is our spring break. On March 27th, we have our governing board study session. On April 10th, we have our regular board meeting at 5 p.m. April 24th, we have our governing board study session. Okay, now moving along to our additional agenda items. We have 60-day review of benchmark advanced K-6 reading curriculum. Rich and Kathy.
Good evening, good afternoon, board members. Last study session, we talked through the process that both of our buildings use to find that K-6 core reading program. And we went through that process as I described, and we, as both buildings, decided that Benchmark Advance was the company that we wanted to present to the board for the 60-day review. It met the criteria, and I think you have that in your packet. Is that correct, Lynn, that they have? Okay, so that criteria, the reasons we chose Benchmark Advance are listed in your packet. We found it to be the best company to meet our needs, K-6, and so that was why we chose that. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Sandra.
Are all your staff members aware that they can look at this over here? Yeah. Okay. Do you have
Yes,
another
they have been
set?
in the building, but I will definitely make sure they know that we'll transport the material over here as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So they all have, so basically they can, for the next 60 days, look at it in both of your buildings? Okay.
Well, my understanding was it was to be brought up here, right?
Oh, is
Yes,
there only
yes.
one set?
It's brought up here, and then we also will communicate to the community that we have a adoption of a 6-day review as well,
Okay.
so.
I just don't, you know, it's a big thing. It'd be nice if people are aware of it and that they don't say, well, I didn't know where it was.
Yeah, we'll have all the materials available for the next 60 days with,
Perfect.
opportunity to comment.
Okay, good.
I have a question. Did you have any parents involved in the process? I noticed of the 13 documents that had filled out the evaluation sheet, they were mainly all staff. Did you have any parent input?
Oh, do you want to?
I gave the opportunity for site council members to come and look at our materials. We had it open and in the reading zone and all out on tables for them to have the last month and a half. We also have parent representatives on the PBIS team, and we happen to meet in that room for our bi-weekly meetings. We also invited them to participate in that. We also invited parents to come into the building through our newsletters for the last 2 months to also look at those materials.
Did they fill out such a form too?
They did not. It's quite a lengthy piece of time to fill out those documents, so most of them did not fill those out.
So how many total staff were involved?
Staff, we had 8 leadership staff members who filled out the documents, the reading specialist, the student achievement teacher, myself, and then we've had 3 or 4 teachers at each grade level who have taken different parts of the materials and used it in their classroom and given us feedback on that.
Okay, on the sheet that were filled out, I counted 13. And of that,
That was just my building.
was that your building? I was going to ask about that.
And I thought I submitted mine, also, benchmark advance, the rubrics.
Yeah, I think we have it right. We have it.
Yeah, and so my reading committee was basically the same as Kathy's, reading specialist, SAT, myself, one or two members from each grade level was represented on that committee.
Okay, of the 13, 9 didn't score too well. They were all ones. And they really didn't have any comments as the others did.
But I think those are all the rubrics for every company. Yeah.
So,
But the benchmark advance came out with the highest score.
Okay.
So what you have in the packet is those ratings for all the companies that we looked at.
okay. All right. Now, I have one other question. For smooth transitioning for students that come out from the outlying schools like Kaibito, maybe Shanto, maybe we might pick up a few from Gap Elementary. Have you looked to see what they're using so there's a smooth transition for those students if they were to come to our schools?
I have not.
The only ones I know of are the ones that are using BT, which we're using right now. And so that transition really doesn't affect them because it's all standards-based teaching anyway.
Okay.
So it meets all of those requirements as well.
All right.
Phonics programs come and go. So with phonics, it's still learning the letters and the sounds and putting those together to create words, CVC words, those kinds of things. So they're all pretty much integrated across the different companies.
Yeah, the reason why I was asking for parent input was the cultural relevancy, where the students have a place and they can make relationships with what they're learning.
We did check on schools that had a similar demographic to ours, and there is one or two schools that are using it within Arizona. I don't remember the names offhand, but we did check that. Also, a thing to remember is that if a school is a public school in Arizona, they have to make the same adoption, the same core reading program because of the SLR. So they, may have be choosing Benchmark Advance or other companies, but most schools have got to go through this process of adopting that new core reading program because of the new ESSA requirements.
The reason why I'm asking is coming from a federal government school, I know they have the same process and the procedure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I believe part of the rubric was cultural relevancy, modification, accommodation for special education and English language learner, and that's the other part of why you adopted Benchmark Advance.
We also did, on my committee, who I forgot to say, we did have one of our resource teachers and one of our ERL teachers on our committee as well.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, inquiring about.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as like any kind of written comments, there wasn't any. That was the reason why I'm asking.
On the rubrics?
On the cultural relevancy
okay.
cultural comments on it.
Okay, yes, we did explore that.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions?
I have a question. You mentioned that you had parent involvement as far as looking into the curriculum. What were the feedbacks from parents?
We offered that to our parents. I didn't hear any negative comments from parents. There was nothing written, but I didn't receive any negative feedback from parents.
And the parents that we did have look at the 3 programs that we had in the reading zone, they had availability to Susan Van Ministering, the reading specialist. So if they had questions, they could ask her questions. But she said really there was no feedback, good or bad. They did have questions about the phonics programs, where it was relevant teaching for K2 skills, those kinds of things.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I noticed, in some of the materials that phonics in the program didn't score as well. Does that mean you're gonna keep, like, foundations around, or, well, how is that gonna, how,
We cannot, technically speaking, keep foundations because it's not a, ESSA approved. It doesn't have a strong, research base to it. So, in the components of Benchmark Advance, I think there is, sufficient, phonics material there to support our kids.
okay, so, I'm confused.
So the Benchmark Advanced Phonics program will replace the Foundations Phonics piece
Okay.
to stay consistent with the same.
How long do we have,
Foundation,
foundation? For?
4 years, I think it is 4. We've had foundations for 4
how
years.
long now?
5 years. I
5
believe.
years?
This is our 5th year.
How long did we pay for it?
5 years.
5
Every year
years?
we have to review.
Oh, it's a yearly contract? Okay. Just wondering how often and how much we pay for that?
This is the
Or if we're locked into another 5 years and that money's just going down too? No? It's a yearly thing?
Benchmark Advanced will be a one-time cost for 7 years.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Do we have a motion? Do we have a motion, right? Do we have a motion?
Well, it's for 60-day review, so we gotta...
Okay, no, we,
You just have to
Okay.
we have a motion to approve the 60-day review.
I'll make a motion to approve the 60-day review. I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, on to item B. First reading of Policy Service Advisory 602-3615. Rob Varner.
Again, first reading, Liz and I will go through these policies, compare them to our policies. First glance at these, a lot of them are based on changes in the law, and we just want to make sure that they align with the current policy and does not change the spirit of our policy. So, again, in April, we'll have a breakdown on which ones that need to be changed, which ones we need to leave alone, and a lot of these, of course, were semantics and grammar changes as well. So we'll go through each one of those and bring those back to you.
Do we have any questions? All right. Do we have a motion? No motion. Okay, sorry. I'm moving ahead. All right. Moving along. Revised policy, GCBA, professional staff salary schedule. Rob Varner.
Okay, you gotta do a motion first.
You gotta do a motion. Okay, do we have a motion?
I move that we approve and adopt the revised GCBA policy.
I second it.
Discussion?
This is our second reading, again, because the SEPLA salary schedule that was approved changes the language here, so we're just adopting the language of the SEPLA salary into policy GCBA. Do you have any questions?
Do you have any questions? Go ahead, Sandra.
Yeah, I had a, was it a phone meeting? I can't remember, or was it an in-person meeting with Mr. Varner about my concerns that, even though, you know, the STEPLA salary schedule is fixing the leapfrogging and the moving forward with, you know, new people, that we also still have issues with people that have been here for a long time whose pay discrepancy between new people is quite small.
Right.
So I'm hoping that in the future we'll have some work study sessions to address that issue so that we can, I mean, we're always talking about retention now, and that we want to keep people here, and so we got to make sure that those people feel appreciated and that we kind of figure out over, you know, that we figure out what to do for them maybe on an individual basis or as a group, and that we identify them and that we make sure that they feel appreciated and that they're not overlooked in this stepless salary schedule.
Step one of a process, I would say.
Okay. I just want to, say that tonight so that we make sure we
Dr. Maurer
don't...
is making note of that, so we can begin looking at that, the whole systematic situation for that.
Yeah, I think Terry had mentioned that once before, that was part of the process and everything, go back and take a look at that to bridge those gaps.
We still have, Dr. Maurer and I have identified some still current problems with the salary system even after the step list.
Right.
We were able to fix the initial, 42 employees from leapfrogging that we'll be able to fix this time, but then there's the gap. There's still some interesting 3 or 4 year employees and a 15-year employee only still being pretty close together, even though they didn't get leapfrog. There's still some discrepancies out there we're going to continue to bring to the board over time.
Good deal.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a motion? Okay, yeah, we vote. All in favor?
I'll just call for the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Watching basketball down there or what?
What?
Nap time.
Hospital talk.
Okay, moving along to item D. Form of contracts to be utilized for the 2018-2019 school year for certified administrative and retiree staff. I need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the form of contract as submitted to be utilized for 2018-19 school year.
And a second?
A second.
All in favor? Oh, wait, discussion. Sorry, discussion.
I'm going to yield to Dr. Maurer. To the podium.
Madam President, members of the board, colleagues and distinguished guests. So what you have in front of you is the contract language for the 2018-2019 school year. The highlights of that, if you would look, you will see that there is a change with regards to, we issued emergency teaching certificates and interim teaching certificates. Both of those are 1 year with 1 year renewals. So in that language, you will see that we do not guarantee the successive contract for the emergency certified, and then with the long-term, or not with the long-term, with the interim cert, they would have to be making adequate progress in order to receive the contract the next year. So that's one change that's in there. The rest is just removing the language that spoke about Prop 301 and placing it appropriately inside of the contract honestly the way it should have been about a decade ago when it originally came out. So that's just a fix for moving forward. Any questions?
It seems the contract language for SEI, ESL bilingual is as if hired as a teacher, and the recommendation, should we choose, is to make sure we say if hired as a teacher instructing students using sheltered and structural English immersion. Now, do you recommend we put that in? Because it says it's not that way at this point.
Correct. So that is no longer a state requirement.
Right.
So we can choose to remove it, or we can choose to keep it in. So in this case, it's a clause that's in our contract and has been traditionally in our contract and remained in there. Unless the board wants to remove that out, which is not the recommendation,
Okay.
the idea would be to leave it as is.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I follow up on what you said? You said we typically give them a 1-year contract emergency certification
So the
plus another year? Or did I misunderstand you there?
So what happens is an emergency certified teacher receives from the ADE a certificate for 1 year. We do not currently have language in our contract that states that their contract is for only the year. So there is an assumption that can be made by the employee that they would be then receiving the next year's contract. This contract will clean up that language where there is no longer an assumption that they would receive the next year's contract when they sign this contract.
And then you said, unless they're making adequate progress, then we would...
That is the intern cert. So there is a teaching intern cert where that teacher is going through a program currently, and if they stop...
become a certified teacher.
To become a certified teacher, if they stop making adequate progress, they drop out of the program, they start failing their program. We now currently have language in the contract that would state they will not be expecting a contract for the following year.
Any other questions? Right.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
We already
No,
have-
we already did, I'm sorry.
Call for the vote.
Sorry. I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving
What are you two
along.
doing over there?
Board meeting calendar for 2018-2019 school year. I believe we all have a copy. We have a motion.
Does that need to be approved?
No.
Yes.
Is it? Oh, calendar.
Okay, I make a motion.
Calendar, yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the board meeting calendar for 2018-2019.
I second.
Okay, now we
discussion.
Well, all I'm going to say about it, it looks pretty much like this year's calendar, so, and I think we, for the most part, figured out all our little issues, right?
Hmm.
I don't have any issue with that.
Yeah, I just think we backed it up one day like we was talking about so that they could have that full week for Thanksgiving in there, I believe. Yeah.
Well, and we never have had board meetings during 2 board meetings in November. We only always have one.
But I think this school was only out for a partial week, if one now would be the full.
Right. No, but this is our meeting calendar.
And I did, I just want a little bit off of the...
Last year's.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other questions? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now, moving along to subject F, Kaivicho meet and greet. May 8, 2018 meet and greet schedule. Do we have a motion? Oh, no, it's just a discussion. Mr. Rob Barner.
So you got the calendar, and we sent out invites to all our administrative directors and you all. There's some dates on here. Kaibito on the May 8th, Zochia on the 15th, Kakamine on June 19th, Shabakin on June 15th, and Botaway Gap on the 21st. Love for you guys to be there. I know our administrators are beginning to accept those meet and greets, so you can see most of them are there. Just Move It and the intergenerational conference, which I really enjoy, out there at Shabakin, and then the normal lottery day at the Botaway Gap that we have attended the last few years. So Just Move It is usually a pretty busy time. So glad we were able to get three of those events. Usually see a couple hundred folks out there for those events. So hope you can come out.
Lynn?
The Kaibito meet and greet is on Tuesday, May 8th, which is also a board meeting. So, we really can probably only afford to have one of you gone to attend that. Dee has indicated that she would like to attend that.
That's a 5:30 start, correct? Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Leaving here.
Our time, right.
this one, do you ever want to attend? Well, if two go, then all other three need to commit to be here.
Right.
Otherwise, we can't have meetings.
That's why I was only
So what
willing to
about
give up
you?
one of you in the event of an emergency.
Do we want to commit now, or
Are
should
we
we
okay with Dee attending that?
Yes,
or-
fine.
All right, Dee, you're gonna wear 5 hats. Have fun.
Right.
I'm kidding. All right. So we're okay with Dee attending the meet and greet in Kaibito? All right. Any other questions? None. All right. Moving along to future agenda items. I believe we all have a copy of future agenda items, and does anybody have any questions?
No, there's one thing I've been talking about and trying to see when we might be able to put it in, and that's just a report on our student achievement progress. Whenever that's most appropriate and available.
Okay,
At a work study session.
I'll get with Tina when would be added.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay. Moving along to
I
item.
move we adjourn.
I'll
second that motion.
We will be adjourning our meeting at 5:50 p.m.
All right, what do I need to sign?